Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us again on the Misadventure channel. I am Gina, and today we are looking at a Dendrobium Phalaenopsis. This Dendrobium phal is a no ID phal that I picked up at a local big box store. It was priced between $20 and $30. I don't remember exactly, but it was in a very broken pot, and I took it up to the counter and was able to get it for $3 or $4. That was about, I want to say, about 6 months ago, and it really hasn't done much since. That was during the winter, and it had just come out of flower. It had one flower spike, which you can kind of see the end of there. It was spent and broken, and I think there was one spent bud falling off of it when I picked it up off the shelf, and I believe it was a white flower from the way it looked, but it was very old. Anyway, like I said, I got this for very cheap, and when I brought it home, the only mix I had, or medium I had to plant it in, was just some very rough bark chips, and I think that may not be giving it enough moisture. It may not be retaining enough moisture for the needs of this Dendrobium. You can see the canes here. They're not really dried out, so I think I am giving it enough water, but maybe it's just not staying moist long enough. I think another issue may be the lighting. I keep this in a south-facing window that I have, but although it is south-facing, there's a lot of shrubbery on the outside of the house in that area, so it doesn't get a whole lot of light. Unfortunately, that is the only window I really have to put it in at this point in time. So what I'd like to do is address the medium, and hopefully we'll see some new growth if we do change the medium that it's planted in and keep it a little more moist. Hopefully I don't get it too wet and end up causing any kind of rot, but I would like to repot this and see if we can get some growth going. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this while I get all my supplies together. Okay, so now I have unpotted the Dendrobium Phalaenopsis from the small plastic pot that I had it in. I have it just resting there for now. This is the new pot that I'm going to be placing it in. This was really the only orchid type pot that I could find. I am wanting to increase the moisture, but I do want to still let air get, you know, into the medium some and to the roots. So there are slits here. They did have actually one other type of pot, but it was, you know, more holes all over, and I felt this one would retain more moisture while still, you know, letting some air through. I have two different types of bark mixes right now. I have one that is more coarse, larger pieces, and one here that is some medium to fine pieces. They are both bark mixes. I don't believe that there's any sphagnum in either of these mixes. I kind of wanted to get some sphagnum in there. I could have mixed some in myself if I had been able to find some at the garden center, but there was none when I went. So I'm going to go ahead and pot this up with just bark mix, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to start with the more coarse medium in the bottom. This Dendrobium phal does not have a lot of roots, and this is not too big of a pot, but it is obviously bigger than the plastic pot it's been in. So we are going to need quite a bit of this coarser material at the bottom. And so we'll just add quite a bit of that. And then we'll go ahead and take this Dendrobium phal. It's actually kind of split into two pieces, so I'll try to move those together and place those in the pot. Let's lean it back for now, and let's put some of these larger pieces on the sides, and then mix in some of this finer material into the areas where the roots are so they can stay more moist. What I noticed when I would look at this in the plastic pot was the roots, even though we do want them to get good airflow, there was very large pockets because of the size of the bark medium I was using. Let's sit this up a little bit. See how we can do this here. Because of the bark medium that I was using, there was quite a bit of air pockets all the way around all of the roots, and I don't know if it was too much air and the roots were just drying out too much. I was watering it quite frequently, but I don't know, maybe not enough. I'm new to orchid growing. I've only been doing this for about a year, and this was my first Dendrobium. So I'm not very familiar. I'm sorry, this is so shaky, guys. I'm not very familiar with how to grow these guys. So I think I'll need to spike this here. I will just wiggle this in because I don't want to tear up any roots. So maybe if I just jiggle it in a little bit, we won't mess up too many roots. And see, I can feel that going down. And there we go. And for now, we'll just rest that there. And we do have another, I have another stake here for this one. I would like to stand this guy up better, although he has been growing sort of at that angle. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and pause this again and tie this largest cane off so it stops wiggling around. Okay guys, so I went ahead and finished up potting while I was off camera. I was able to get the smaller section here propped up a little more just by putting in some more bark mix and making sure it filled in all the spaces down in the roots. I just teased it in real gently, put some of the smaller pieces in there. You know, I don't know a lot about Dendrobium phalaenopsis, like I said. This is only the first one I have. I do have a second one now that was a rescue from my office that I will be potting up the same way, and I may do a video about that as well. But so far this one has had no new growths, and I'm hoping that with this new media, new pot, maybe with a little more moisture retention, it might show signs of growth, especially now that we're getting into late spring, early summer. I would like to place this in a window that has more light because I know den phals like more light than Phalaenopsis. However, I really don't have a window in which I can do that because I have a cat, and he likes to attack my plants, and so I tend to keep all of my plants in my bedroom where my cat does not go. But now that we have this guy potted up, maybe that will help him grow without really a change in the light. Thank you for joining me today.